Okay, this is Jerry Satterley of Texas Avocados. Uh, there's things that are constantly amazing me. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but this is my baby Joey that was froze down. Look at this thing. It's up, 4.5 feet tall, getting wide and spreading. It's just amazing. I thought it was dead, and it's an awesome experience. I've never been so enthused my whole life since I've retired and playing with these trees. But there's also things that always disappoint you at the same time. I'm going to tell you about one thing that's kind of disappointed me. Well, this is one thing that disappointed me somewhat in one way. This is my little Wilma tree, and it's growing. And said, how can you be disappointed? Well, it's aborted all of its fruit. This is the one that has the kind of super big avocados, almost 6 inches. And I think these things have kind of an internal code, and it is growing. It got burnt real bad from the freeze, and it put on a bunch of fruit. But I think that internal code says, we'll do fruit another year, we're going to grow. And it was kind of behind, but you see how wide and spreading this tree is. It's not going to be a tall tree, so it's a tree you might think about. Some of these trees get up 30 and 40 feet tall. Well, this one won't be that tall, but it might be 30, 40 feet wide. Sometimes, getting the fruit off these big trees is a problem. But this is it's a mixed disappointment, but it's bittersweet at the same time. Yeah, this is a little Carolina tree that froze back and is doing real good. Now, it was real young when I planted it. It was about just a year and a half old. I kind of planted it too soon. So it's growing good and everything. It may not as much as the Joey, but the Joey was almost 3 years old when I planted it. And so it had a much better root system. And I'm finding out these trees, once they get their root system down, they will just take off like a rocket and grow. And it's just kind of a ongoing learning experience. But this is a interesting tree. It's not on the market yet, but it has the potential for some very interesting things. And I really probably shouldn't say much about it, but it's well worth the interest that it deserves. Okay, I keep coming back to my big Grande, Mexicola Grande tree, and you see these fruit are turning dark, and this is probably one of my bigger fruit. It's about 3 3/4, and you see that it's only fruit on this limb, and some of these others there will be these 8, 10, 12 fruit on the limb, so that's why some of them will be smaller. But I could just not bring myself to pick this fruit off the tree. I just had to leave it. So this is going to, at this point, it's probably as big a fruit as I'll have until the opals get mature more in September and October. But it's ongoing fun. Okay, this is my beloved lemon tree. It had this late bloom, and I just walked around it briefly, and I counted like 65 lemons on it. This was a late bloom. This tree was, again, I thought was killed by the freeze, and it has come out of it. And I keep saying it, but it's the truth. Wow, this is just great stuff. So I never dreamed that I would have this much fruit on there. There's a bunch right in here somewhere if I can find them. They're just all over the place with this little tree. So life is good. And I need to tell you a story about lemon. Why do I love the lemon? I guess it's a sentimental thing. Growing up in the Rio Grande Valley, when I was a youngster, I did a lot of slave work for my parents. One of the things I did was plant quite a few fruit trees for them. And if you remember that freeze in 1983, if I got my year right, where it got down to 7 degrees there in Houston, where I was living, it froze almost all the citrus down in the valley when my mom was still alive in 1983. And I had a lemon tree there. It was right up against the house on the south side. And it was the only lemon tree in the whole valley that survived the freeze. And those nursery people coming from all over to get graft wood off of my mother's lemon tree. And so I guess I have a little sentimental connection why. But these lemons are very good producers. A tree this size, last year, it was smaller even, it had 100 fruit. Now after all this, it's got somewhere around 65 fruit. Wow, you know, you need a lemon tree, folks. So you say, well, what's that got to do with avocados? It's all backyard stuff. So you need a good orange tree, a lemon tree, and an avocado tree. So that's all good stuff. God bless you, and thanks for your kind attention. I know there's people that watch these things, and I get comments, and so I'll keep doing this as long as people seem to think it's worth something. It's not going viral, but it is getting some attention from my friends and family. God bless you.